You can't pour from an empty cup. There's nothing you can give to anyone if you don't have the time or care to look into the mirror and figure out what's wrong and how to fix it. If you're rarely finding things you can do to help yourself or to make yourself better, I don't think you're trying at all. Every single day I become a new person. Every single day I learn something new because I take my personal health very seriously. You cannot pour into an empty cup. So many people I've tried to help that didn't ask for my help. So many people that I tried to give advice to. So many people I tried to give advice to, and they never listened to me, or they like looked at me and started saying like, what are you saying? That doesn't make any sense. If people do not ask for your help, they don't want it. If people don't ask for your help, don't give it to them. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you do not help yourself, and if you do not allow yourself to heal yourself and to allow yourself to take time out of the day, out of any day, 5 minutes, literally just 5 minutes, if you do not respect yourself enough for at least 5 minutes, I don't understand why you think you can become a parent or a guardian or someone that can help someone else. If you do not know what you're doing, first of all, and second of all, if you are not helping yourself, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You will drain yourself, literally. I grew up with a mom that didn't go outside, didn't talk to anybody, and didn't take care of herself at all. And that really affected me growing up, and I never realized that because I was like, I will never become like that. But growing up with that, even if you do have that mindset, it still affects you because that is what you see. That is what your life is surrounded by. It is hard to believe something if you try to rewire your brain and try to start doing healthy things for your mindset and start doing healthy habits. What you come home to, it is very hard to rewire your brain if this is what you come home to. People not trying, people not caring about themselves, people that sleep all day. Like, when I tried to start a routine and I seen that the apartment was dark, everyone was sleeping, I would go sleep. I would go doom scroll. Because your environment says a lot about you, and your environment is going to affect you. My mom did not do much for herself while I was growing up. I technically parent her most of the time with like advice and stuff. And I thought that was like a direction to go towards, was not to do what she did, but it also still affected me. What you do in front of your kids will affect them. What you don't do will affect them. If you do not respect yourself, they will not respect you or themselves either. Seeing that her social life was not there definitely affected mine. I am an introvert, but it also, like, it's weird to see my mom doing social things. Like, not weird in a bad way, but it's just like out of the ordinary, and that's never how it should be. Like, your mom should be getting her hair done. You should be taking care of yourself and taking care of your kids, because taking care of yourself is taking care of your kids, because they see that positivity, they see that growth, that mindset of, if I want it, I'll go do it. And when you do that, they'll be like, can I get my hair done? And then you go take them to get their hair done. She didn't have many clothes. And a lot of this does do with poverty, but there was just no priorities. That's the problem, was you can be poor, but if your priorities are messed up, you will get nowhere. And that's what was happening. I would see this and be like, okay, so if I want it, then I just don't do it because she's not doing it. If I want it, I'll complain about not having it because that's what she's doing. You learn off of people, and you learn off of what they do, no matter how much you try not to. Like, you're not Jesus. A lot of you guys cannot be in a room with sinners or be in a room of unmotivated people and come out motivated and not sinning. It is extremely hard, but it also builds the strongest soldiers that's kind of cringy, but it also builds the strongest people is to do it by yourself. That is one good thing that I took out of seeing my mom in that state, or seeing people not living the life that I wanted to live, was it made me realize how important it is to do things by yourself, because without people's judgment, without their advice, and without their energy, you are your authentic self. You are strong by yourself. Sometimes you need to take a journey with God by yourself, and I'll get into that in this video. If you don't value yourself, your kids won't either. Simple as that. How to avoid burnout as a parent or just as anybody. Take care of yourself instead of everyone else. People love to say that I'm a people person, I love everybody, I just have so much love within me. People are always disappointing me. I just have a lot of love to give. You cannot pour from an empty cup. The same people that say they have a lot of love to give, they do not give love to themselves. So how much love do you really have? You cannot love someone, care for them, take care of them, do everything for them, and expect yourself to enjoy it, to expect yourself to care to give to people anymore if you are not taking time for yourself. If you're constantly slaving away to someone else, or not taking care of anybody or yourself, you think you have all this love, but you can't give it to yourself and you can't give it to other people. You will get burned out if you are constantly thinking about other people. And to avoid the burnout, you literally just have to take care of yourself. Like, take a couple minutes out of every day, or take 5 days and be like, I need to be alone right now. Whether you're a parent or a kid or a teenager, whatever it is, if you can set up some sort of date, some sort of time to where you're like, I need to be by myself, that is the best thing that you can do for yourself. You will never love anybody as fully, as purely, as much as they need to be loved if you do not love yourself. You do not know what love is if you can't even feel it, if you don't know how it feels, and if you cannot reciprocate it, if you cannot give it to yourself. You don't know what love is if you cannot do it for yourself. So how do you expect that you're going to love someone else, that you're going to give them everything that they need, or love them the way they need to be loved? And if you don't have any help, protect your mental health. Stand up for yourself. You have to stand up for yourself. Do not let anybody tell you who you are, what you can do, what's realistic. Do not let anybody get into your head and tell you you're a bad parent, that you're this, don't let anyone get into your head and tell you that you're this or you're that. Listen to people that actually care for you. Do not be manipulated, and stand up for yourself, because it will definitely have an impact on your children's life. Personally, my mom barely stands up for herself. She will love people and choose love before boundaries, before comfortability, before anything. She will choose to keep people in her life that disrespected her, that traumatized her, and that affected me a lot, because my grandmother also does that. Other people in my family also do that, and it affected me because, again, even though that I still have in my mind that I will not end up this way, this is just motivation to not end up this way. This is to show me why I shouldn't end up this way, because all those people that do that do not have any boundaries and choose love and validation and the feeling of having people around even though they're fake, like, they're not strong enough to be alone. They are too scared to be alone. And that is never a weakness that you should have. You should be okay if you're alone. You should be the strongest when you're alone. You need to be able to thrive when you're alone, because people will come and they'll go, people change, and people are going to disappoint you. You cannot break down when someone leaves, or when someone chooses that they see you this way instead of the way that you are. People are going to break your heart, but you cannot be uncomfortable with allowing them to leave, because you will never find your people. You will never find people that will truly love you if you fill up the space with negative people. Those people that can love you do not, that's a closed door. You're closing a door to any good things coming to you if you constantly have negative people around you. And seeing people that do not respect themselves, do not put anything above love and validation and being around people. All of them, they cannot stand by themselves. They cannot be alone. Most of them. They complain about their lives. They're not successful at many things. They don't have much going for them in their lives. And they let people step all over them. They complain about constantly giving and never being able to receive anything. They're closing doors and opening up doors that is just constant giving more than you should. And that is never something you want to do. Even if your cup is filled, you should never empty it all out. Do not give people more than what you should. Because at that point, it's not even caring about people. It's just the feeling that you get. And I believe that that's selfish. A lot of people don't give because they're kind. They give because they're scared. They give because they're scared of karma. They're scared that if they don't give, something bad's going to happen to them. And that is probably one of the most selfish things I've ever heard. Do not give too much because it will never end up being about love or caring. It'll just be about you and your feelings and how you feel after you give to somebody. Of course it's going to feel good, but it'll always end up being about you if you do not care about yourself. It'll always be about, I'm burned out. I feel this way. I feel that way. You'll never take anyone's feelings into consideration because you're constantly thinking about yourself at this point. You need to stand up for yourself. Do not let anybody tell you who you are and what you can't and can do. And if someone genuinely makes you upset, physically, they traumatize you, or mentally, they affect you in any way, shape, or form. If it's as simple as you being afraid to talk to them, you being afraid to tell them that they did something wrong, if you're afraid to be yourself and something in your brain is stopping you from expressing yourself or talking or being able to do certain things around people, you should not be around them. I have people that I would act white around because I thought that they would respect me more. I have people that are around me that do not listen to me when I talk, that mansplain to me, that constantly say, oh, females this, males this. It's so irritating. If you're trying to fix your relationship with someone and they will not allow you to, and they do not care to change themselves for the better or change the way they react to things or interact with you for your relationship, they do not care about you. They don't care about your relationship, and it has nothing to do with you. Remember that. You need to understand that you need confidence. You need to stand up for yourself, because after that time period of learning how to do that, you'll realize that 99% of the time, it's not going to be you. That's the problem. People that do not appreciate you, that's them. Allow them to not do that and leave. The power of no. I was so afraid to say no growing up, and that affected my life in many ways because I would let people do many things that I do not accept anymore. And it affected my mental because I'd come home in so much regret, blaming myself, overthinking about everything. And that created a problem to this day of getting like flashbacks of memories and like that genuinely traumatize me and make me upset. And I overthink about everything I do. Like, I will be like, I said this and this. How did they think of this? You need to say no. You will see the truth within people when you do not give them what they want. My sister, she realized that a lot of her friends, friendship, every relationship is, you take from each other. It's like trading. You make me smile, you make me happy, and I fill the void in your life when you're alone. It gets to a point where she would be like, oh, I can't take you. And they would be like, oh, never mind. Or they would like ghost her. because she was the ride there and nothing more. She was how to get there and nothing more. But as soon as she has that benefit taken away, you'll see the truth within people when you have no benefits and you say no. Say no. If you're not comfortable with something, if your instant thought is no, listen to your gut feeling. Do not ever start this habit of saying yes all the time and people pleasing. Sometimes the best thing you can say to someone is no. I used to think that I need to please everyone, I need to help everyone, I need to take care of everyone. And when I realized that my no will be a yes to something else that's greater. My no can separate our relationship and lead them into a better relationship. You never know what God can bless them with. Your no can be so much more positive than you think. It will teach them about boundaries. It will teach them the word no, because a lot of people are spoiled. But allow yourself to practice the word no, because there will be a lot of people that think they have invitation to your entire life and think that they can mansplain things and tell you what to do if you keep saying yes. Don't dim your light for nobody. People will see you however they want to, and their opinions won't change no matter how much you try to please them. No matter how much you try to change, I always say you can change yourself into 100 different people and they still will not like you. It is them, it is not you, because you've become 100 different people. How could it be you? People will not like you, and you need to accept that. People have their own opinions, and their opinions of you don't mean that it's true. I don't like your hair. It doesn't mean my hair is ugly. I don't like your style. It doesn't mean my style's ugly. It's your opinion. And you need to practice that thought, because you'll end up getting insecure or allowing people to step all over you, allowing people to tell you whatever they want, and allow people to guide you like you're a little dog, because you don't understand the difference between opinion and truth. Never let anyone dim your light, because I will keep it short and simple. We're all gonna die. Like, I just can't explain it any other way. We're all gonna die. Do not live for anybody. Do not live for anybody's expectations, for what they want you to do. You do what you want to do. I heard this one saying that was like, why are you pleasing? I forget what it was, but I think it was about religion, but I take it into many other different topics. And it was like, why are you pleasing? I'll look it up somewhere, but I think that's a good saying for a lot of different things. Like, stop pleasing ideas, stop pleasing people. Like, if you know that it's true, you know that it makes you feel loved, and it makes you feel the greatest. It makes you feel like you go do it. You never dim your light for anybody, because one day you're going to see that someone's doing exactly what you want to do. And you're going to get mad because you had that idea. But the difference between you and them is that they actually acted on that idea, and you were just sitting there being lazy and comparing yourself and thinking that you couldn't do it. If you're a parent and you try to dim your light, your kids will never know how gracious you are. Your kids will never know what your favorite color is, what your favorite activity to do is. They will see pictures of you doing fun things and being the light in every place that you walk into. But when they see you now, they see a beat up person, and they might have sympathy for you. They might hate you for not being your authentic self, because without authenticity, there is no love. Your love is so watered down. Your love is actually hateful for a lot of you, because you are not yourself. Without expression, there is depression. You will become sad. You will become upset, regretful, and nobody wants to be around that energy, especially children. They are consumers. Children are just like glue. Everything sticks to them. They learn, and everything stays in their head. They just constantly consume things, and they're full of feelings. And if they see you like that, it is way more sensitive and they feel it way deeper because first of all, their parent, especially if you're a mom, they came from you. They see it, they feel it, and no matter how much they may hate you or resent the fact that you are not you anymore or feel bad for you, they will still have that connection to you and still wonder what it would be like if you were your authentic self. And like I said, if you don't respect yourself, your kids will not respect them or you either. If you do not love yourself and you're not authentic, your kids will not love themselves or be authentic because they learned it from you. Manipulation. How to respond and how to catch it. With manipulation, I had this situation recently. I've been dealing with manipulation like my entire life. But recently, I seen, because this person does not clean up after themselves at all. And I looked into the garbage and I seen that it was like, the trash can was like, the trash bag was like this, and the food was like dripping out of the bag and going into the can. And it wasn't like that when I put my trash in there. But the second time I went, it was like that. So I was like, there they go again, not cleaning up after themselves. And I seen their stuff pushed in to the garbage can like that. I do not do that, ever. And I was like, I'm not even gonna fix it this time, I'm done. Like, you have to know when it's time to stop, when it's time to not put your energy into things, because people do not care. They'll keep doing it and they'll mess up your stuff. I was like, I'm done. Like, I will not clean up after an adult. I'm not doing it. And like a couple days later, they came up to me and was like, try not to let the garbage bag, tip over and like slide down, because there was moldy strawberries at the bottom of the trash can. And I looked at them and I was like, and the weirdest thing is that during that moment where I was just looking at them, I was like, you will think that the person will not like you if you speak up. You will think that they will not appreciate what you have to say, so why not just not say it? You'll think that you ruin the vibe or whatever. You'll give any excuse not to stand up for yourself or speak up, because they taught you that you'll only receive a negative reaction. If you're a sensitive person, you'll do anything just to shut up because you don't want that reaction. All you try to do is communicate. And they're going to do the same thing that I do to them, communicate. But when I do it, I get screamed at, I get argued with, I get blamed. So you get to do the same thing that I do, and you made me think that I couldn't talk. Do not let anybody make you think that you cannot talk or you cannot say certain things or express yourself, because they will they'll turn around and do the same thing that you've been trying to do, and they'll think it's whatever. And the thing is that the last time that they blamed me for something, I gave them the benefit of the doubt, even though I was 100% sure I did not do something. They accused me of something, but I was like, do you know what? Sometimes we forget. I know that I didn't do it, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did, I'll stop. But this time, I was like, you do not deserve my maturity, my respect, or a positive reaction. I just stood there and I was just like, I know for a fact it wasn't me. I remember how just angry I got looking at that, because it's just like, it never has to get that bad. Like, you are so lazy. Do not let anybody try to manipulate you, because that was manipulation. And they just looked at me and they were like, and if you let them slide countless of times, they'll genuinely start believing themselves. Like, they genuinely believe that I did that. Like, no, you fixed your own mess. You fixed your own mess, and some of my stuff fell because it fell and you didn't pick it up because you're lazy. That's what happened. It had nothing to do with me. Don't let anyone manipulate you. My reaction might have not been the best. My mom told me to just tell them to shut up, because anything will start an argument, because if someone wants to argue, you cannot do anything to make the argument stop. So might as well just say anything you want, or just like, don't say anything at all. But sometimes when you do that, it'll just make them think that they can keep doing the same thing over and over again, worse and worse and worse, until you finally break. And then they're like, why are you screaming at me? It's just like, if you feel like you cannot speak, if you feel uncomfortable expressing yourself or being yourself, and if you are constantly lied to, it is manipulation. And that's how you recognize it. And especially if it's from someone that's insecure, that constantly talks bad about people, that doesn't really care or tend to themselves, they are most likely to become manipulators. Not having any help or structure will make you be in survival mode constantly. If you have a family and you're around your family, be careful who you let be around them and be around you, especially for when they grow up. And don't be surprised when they do the same thing to your kids that they did to you, especially if they're a different race. But we'll get to that. You have to be careful who you let around you and your kids. You can desire someone's love, your mom's, your dad's love, but if they disrespect you, if they bully you, they're going to bully your kids in the same way or worse. Especially as they get older, they get more stupid, let me tell you. If you remember being like abused in any type of way, or remember some sort of weird thing that they did, talk to them about it. Figure your relationship out and see if they care to change themselves so they can have a better relationship with you. And if they don't, create distance. Love them from afar. And if it gets to a point where it gets bad, block them. Close that door. And a lot of people are scared to do that because that's where they get their money from. That's where they get their support from. And I understand that. So navigate it. Find a way to navigate it and tell them about themselves. And if you can't do that because they'll threaten you or put something over your head, hold something over your head, figure out a way to protect your peace and your kid's peace and teach them what's going on. Your kid is never too young to learn about what's going on in their lives. I hated when I would go through something and I would be like, what's going on? And they'd be like, you're too young to understand. If it is happening to me and you're letting this person be around me, I am not too young to understand. I need to know what's going on so I can digest it and figure it out by myself, because I do not need to love them the way you do. I do not need to accept their faults the way you do. I do not need to forgive them the way you do. I need to have my own opinion, and you need to help your kids understand how to have their own opinion by telling them what's going on. If you're going to allow negative people to be around in your life, if you're going to let inappropriate or traumatizing things to be in your life, you need to teach them that, because you understand and they don't. But don't be afraid to be by yourself, and don't be afraid to get your own income or figure it out by yourself, because there's always a way. There is always a way, and God will bless you in any type of way if you allow your blessings to come. If you constantly think, I do not like this person, I don't like the way that they treated me, or you completely change your mindset into, oh, well, I'll still have them in my life because I forgive them. Forgiveness is usually just a way to cope with your sadness, to forget about it and to stuff it down instead of feeling it. That's why I hate when people say you need to forgive everybody, because people do not know what forgiveness is. You need to create boundaries, and you need to figure out who you should keep in your life and be very, very precise about it. And don't be surprised if they act weird with your kids as they did with you. Like, things aren't going to change just because you shoved down whatever traumatized you or whatever made you upset. It's not going to not happen because you decide to ignore it, especially if they're a different race. I am a mixed person, and I am treated differently than my mom. The people that she has weird vibes from do the same thing to me, but worse, because I am mixed. And they can say I'm not racist, they can go to black gatherings, they can have certain ideas and thoughts and beliefs that are right, but they will still end up treating you differently because you are black. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Do not be afraid to do it alone if someone crosses a boundary. If one door shuts, another door opens. Don't ever be afraid to ask for help, and don't always fully depend on anybody, because people will upset you and disappoint you and change your mind. And you should always have trust in yourself. Choose yourself first, and trust in God, the universe, and trust that everything will work out for you, and depend on yourself. But don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to open your mouth and speak up. But that's the end of this video. I pray that I helped you. My voice is a little because I'm sick. I pray that this video helped you. If you need to vent, everyone needs someone to talk to sometimes. Comment it down, any video ideas, or if you need me to be specific about what I talked about today, comment it down, like and subscribe for more videos. Bye guys, I love you.